Welcome to Edge of the Rabbit Hole. Yes, the post-Paracon rabbit hole. We had a great time this past weekend. We're going to get into all of that stuff later on Inside the Upside Down. I'm Mike Ricksecker, of course, your host, with my co-hostess, Vanessa Hogel. Our chat shenanigator, Shauna, is not in the house tonight. Unfortunately, she had to work, but you know, she took the whole weekend off and everything to be with us at the Paracon, of course. So you know, I blame Jake. It's all Jake's fault. Jake was there too. So great to see everybody down in the chat. Like I said, we're going to get into, I saw Tom McNicholas in there talking about the coffee, and we'll definitely get into all of that stuff later on, the second segment on Inside the Upside Down. But tonight, we have a ghost crier in the house, Aaron G. Thompson and Nick Simmons. So we're very happy to have them on tonight. They've been investigating for years. They have their own show now on Haunted.Space. Of course, they have their YouTube channel as well. And we actually met part of their crew at the Paracon this weekend. So, Aaron, Nick, welcome. Great to have you on. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, why don't you give a little background about you know, what you guys have been doing, where you come from? I've read a little bit of your bio all the way back in 1999. Started as Ghost Criers, and now it's just Ghost Crier. So, yeah, way back in the 1900s. Uphill both ways. That's right. Uh-oh, hang on. They're saying that they can't hear the guests. What's up with that? They can't hear. Huh. Yeah, it looks like that's weird. I have all the... Okay.
Test one.
Okay, let's see. I'll try this again. Huh. Yeah, because all the audio levels check. Yeah.
You guys got to dub us. It's up to you.
Okay. Yeah, all the audio levels were fine when... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, all the audio levels were fine going in until the moment we went live. So, there you go.
Are we good?
It looks good. It looks good.
Ghost.
Whew. Hi,
right,
guys.
We'll try this again. So, it was uphill both ways. Way back in the 1900s.
Yeah.
Right back in the 1900s. Oh, man.
There's 18 and 19-year-olds watching this right now going, no way.
Yeah.
The 19.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's unheard of.
What was that like?
That scares me. That scares me right there.
Pen and paper, guys. Disposable cameras.
Just think, the graduating class of 2018 has never had to live without internet.
Those lucky
That's scary. Wow. That's scary.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, I grew up on a Commodore before microwaves, so you know.
2600? Oh no, that's Atari.
That was the Atari. I had an Atari 2600. It was a Commodore 64.
I'm older than all of you.
Oh, snap,
yeah,
girl.
More like
35.
By like 2 years,
the end
Vanessa.
of the
Come
Civil War like?
Right?
Who won? I forgot.
Nobody.
No, yeah, everyone was a loser on that one, guys. There's a lesson to be learned.
She gets PTSD every 4th of July.
Oh,
I remember Bull Run like it was yesterday.
Oh, man, my little puppy's gonna get that too probably this year.
Yeah.
So where were we? How we started?
Yeah, how you started. Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys.
Yeah, before you let the two guys from Iowa take off into left field on a tangent.
Yeah.
Well, you guys do have the Field of Dreams in Iowa, so by all means, take off in the left field.
Yeah, right. Yeah. This must be heaven.
No, it's Iowa.
It's Iowa.
It is. I've never seen that movie. I've lived in Iowa for over 10 years.
I've actually never seen it either. Okay, guys. So yeah, we're Ghost Crier. We started, a while ago. I started my journey in 1999 before reality TV was a reality.
Did you party like it was 1999?
I partied like it was 1999.
Okay,
the
continue.
Limp Bizkit version.
Oh,
yeah.
Just real quick, Tom McNicholas with a $10 super chat. And he says, "I'm older than all of you."
Well, good. Experience is awesome.
Nice. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
What was the Boston Tea Party like, Tom?
Caffeinated.
You wicked retarded.
He parked the car and he grabbed his monster.
Oh my gosh. And we're just getting started too, guys. We're going down the rabbit hole for sure. You're welcome. So Nick joined the brigade in 2009. Picked up, called Ghost Criers. We were together as a compound, and then now we broke off. We split up Ghost and Crier. We really just like to cry the news, guys. Cry the news of ghosts.
Kind of like the Old Town Crier.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Yeah, bing,
We
bing.
found a bunch of ghosts.
I'm not dead yet. You said.
There's all these ghosts down here. Read about it on ghostcrier.com. Anyway.
We also like to support people that are doing like awesome stuff. Like you. You are Mike with your show here. People in the community, we want to cry out their news. It's not all about us. It never was.
Right.
That was never our thing, though we're passionate about the field and we want it to be forward moving. There's a lot of content to absorb out there, and we can't even touch 5% of the content that's floating out there. There's just so much. And I want those people to do good stuff, but if we see something that's extraordinary, I mean, we want to cry that out. We want to share the news to people that follow us. And
there's almost as many clips of EVP on the internet as there is clips of porn.
Oh, fun fact, kids.
You could go to so many websites, listen to so many different EVP clips.
Was that a moan? I don't know what I'm listening to. I'm mixed up now.
Okay, now I have to ask a very bizarre question, only because of what you just brought up. Ooh. And I need. I don't ask a lot of people this, but. Have you ever, during an investigation, caught a memory or stop it, or an embedded memory? Have you an imprint of that particular act on an EVP?
Oh,
because I know I've heard it in certain places.
We've been flirted with quite a bit. Maybe some suggestive stuff we picked up. I don't know if even if it went past us, I'm not sure if I would have recognized it as that.
I mean, the closest we've ever came to that was with Aaron.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, you got Ghosty back there, so watch out. Maybe I need to get him a sock.
Okay.
We're sitting in Aaron's
might be an
house
ectogasm
right
there.
And when he first bought this house, we did an investigation in the basement, made a video, and I asked, did you ever have sex in this house? And the reply,
the kind of questions we ask.
The reply we got was, I'm a virgin.
True. Which is kind of like super sad, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And it's documented. It's online. I mean, we can always link it if anyone wants to know.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
That's amazing. First off, the honesty and the fact that, but you have to take it apart and look at it from another level. You're strangers coming into a home that somebody inhabited, and it takes a certain level, even if you're alive, to have the kind of comfort to admit something of that nature.
Yeah. So
your energy must be really kind of pure for them to feel comfortable enough to do that.
And you bring up a good point, because when doing this, I always a lot of people they want communication right away, this and that, but it's not that. You bring up a very good point, because it's about the rapport, and I tell people this in a lot of my talks that I do. It's rapport that you have with the energy on the other side, though of course it's unique to different scenarios. It can be with that echo and that personalization, but at the same time, we're gaining a assembly line of spiritual energy that's cool with us. And they could very well be kind of our ambition. I can't even say it. They can be our liaison. I can't even say words.
Liaison.
Thank you. Man. So yes. So they can probably speak on behalf of us. In some cases, but yeah, we got a pretty interesting response.
Hey, we have a $10 super chat from Emily Clary. Says, "Hey, Nick and Aaron."
So, she is our mega fan.
She's your mega fan. Nice, nice.
Go, Emily, mega fan.
And she's like this tall. We can put her in our wallet and take off and go on investigation.
No, nice.
Cheshire was a doll.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Right. Fun size is not a bad thing.
Ain't nobody gonna lay a finger on my butterfinger.
I got a new one.
All right. Now I recently saw a YouTube video that you guys did. You were in the pool at Mineral Springs Hotel there, and all. We were just we just had our Paracon there this past weekend. I've investigated there many times, but what did you guys think?
Cool place.
Yeah, it's definitely very cool.
I loved it. First time there, with the response with such a large group around. We even had one moment that I'm still scratching my head on.
You tell.
Where we got like EMF reads, free floating EMF reads on multiple meters.
In the pool?
In the pool area. So, I mean, there's concrete. I looked at radon. I looked at abnormal behaviors that can pull off like a plate illusion where basically mirrors bouncing off the waves off of that. If it can kind of give some of that. No, there's no such thing as free-floating radiation. And, of course, I was aware of this, but it had to be something. It was just too on par. And I'm thinking maybe it was electronics that we were having on us through the cell phones, but I had them turn off their cell phones. It was confusing. I got it, and I'm still scratching my head. It's just too exact. I like it, but we've got a lot of other cool things and some really cool responses from there, so I like it.
Let me ask you, when you were in the pool area and you were getting that, was if you were standing in the doorway looking at the pool, was it on the opposite side of the pool?
No, it was right by the stairs.
Yeah, it was right kind of in the middle area.
Into the stairs, into the pool?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I actually got a photograph, and I'm not a big orb person. I've seen
orbs.
I've seen real ones, and I've seen a shit ton of dust and bugs, but the entire room was empty. Everybody was behind me in that room before the pool room, and Josh Hopkins from Josh and Katie, he was watching me as I took a picture with my cell phone. He was watching the screen of my cell phone, and I was just taking random shots. And I have a fully solid ball of light. Fully solid. You can't see through it. You can't do anything. It's just there. And you saw it when I took the picture. And there's no reflective surface. And it's on the other side of the pool.
No way. I mean,
there's nothing for it to be.
We went back behind that wall on the other side of the pool there. There's like a jail door back there. It's weird.
Really?
Yeah.
It was interesting.
You go all the way down to the deep end of the pool, then there's a door, and you go through the door, then you like have to go around like some equipment and like sewer pipes and stuff like that, and then you crawl through another door, and then you get back. Now you're alongside of the pool, but on the other side of the wall, and there's like a jail door back there.
Yeah, Vanessa, that was part of the area.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, Vanessa, that was part of the area that we told people not to go into because we didn't want that whole big crowd back in there. And there's areas back in there we're actually not allowed into. But yeah, that jail door. Yeah,
that ghost crier. We picked up Elizabeth Saint and we walked back there.
Well, yeah, a little bit different. We had like 60 people, so
that's a lot of people.
Yeah, it was a lot of people. But there's another section back there as you go through, because back by that jail door, there's another doorway that goes into a room that has a dirt floor, and if you go beyond that, there's a little hallway with a metal door, and there's like a little creepy baby carriage back there and everything. And it's through that metal door that Shauna and I were back there one time, and you go to open that metal door, and this is the part we weren't supposed to do because it's actually private. That's private property, and we weren't supposed to do it. And we didn't know. But we went to open that door, felt like this huge gust of cold air come out, and the door was getting pulled back, like somebody was pulling it back on us. So I ended up going into there. Shauna was it was very, very creepy at the time. So Shauna was just hanging back in the hallway. I went in there, and this whole room was like loaded with all kinds of old antique furniture and all this stuff. So it was like some really, really heavy energy coming off of all that antique furniture back there. So very, very creepy, especially that baby carriage. So it's a great place.
I can tell you all the ways I'm never going to go back there. Okay? It's not going to happen.
Oh, come on.
Hey, Kelly McCarville is in the chat.
What?
Kelly McCarville's in the chat.
Okay. We need to give a shout out, if you wouldn't mind, just real quick to Bonnie. I saw her in the chat for a moment, having done such a wonderful job with the food, and just love her so much. So just a big shout out real quick to Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Thank you, Bonnie. Yes, Bonnie was fantastic. So
amazing woman.
All right, so guys, now you have this whole deal going on with the haunted dot space. So people are watching you live now. So what's going on there? Because you had the YouTube channel, but now you're live on haunted dot space.
Yeah, we started off live on haunted dot space. Due to some technical difficulties, we kind of took a step back. We're doing pre-recorded stuff, which is super cool because it's like your typical standard season show. And the nice thing with being with Saint and Groff is they aren't, I mean, they're producers, but they're not telling us what to do. So we're not faking anything. We're doing it raw, real. We're doing an edit, a real historical build. And our personalities.
Working with Groff and Saint's like working with two Matthew McConaughey's, because you shoot them a message, hey, we want to do this, and they're like, cool. all right.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty good. We strayed away from live streaming just because some of the places that we're going in Iowa, you can't even use GPS to get to it.
Yeah.
You have to bust out the old Rand McNally road map and get out there to it. So they're definitely not going to have internet out there to stream live. So.
Right. And we're going to do some live stuff in the near future, but our big focus is getting the investigations, down. And we already recorded our first one just this past week. Pretty awesome. Good, a good communication. I'm excited to kind of get the build up. And we also, I can't spoil it, but we had a celebrity with us. So that's pretty exciting.
It was Ghost Crier's badass celebrity ghost hunt.
So I guess it tells you who it is.
Followers or something on Facebook.
Yeah. Nice.
Now you got to tell us.
No, I can't. We can't. We got to leave
anticipation. That was a hint, though, right?
That was a hint.
Okay. Then I know who it was. I'll tell you later, Vanessa.
And they're not in the paranormal. Now you're gonna be.
Okay.
If you go to Twitter and look hard enough.
Oh yeah.
Like this, you'll be able to find out who it was.
But they're not in the paranormal.
Nope.
Okay.
There you guys go. But don't say it if you find it. Just send us a message.
I wouldn't say a word.
Yes or no. Well, I'm saying it mostly for everyone else who's listening because I know they're doing it right now too.
Yeah.
So what can we expect with these shows? So yeah, obviously, okay, you're in Iowa out in the middle of nowhere, and so you're not going to be able to live stream. But what can we expect from these investigations?
A lot of overalls, a lot of pitchforks,
a lot of front porch sitting.
Or the big thing is I like flow, or I guess my storytelling mind wants there to be a purpose of a season instead of just going to place to place to place to place, which is super cool. And we're going to have that, but with paranormal investigating, I mean, you really don't have, a story. It's paranormal investigating, and you move forward. So I added the concept of we're building a brand new device, or tinkering with areas that have not been tinkered with. So each episode we're just going to manipulate that device a little bit more, look at some more theories around it, and ultimately create something. And it's not spiritual communication. It's more along the lines of entity manifestation. So keep in mind.
Interesting.
Yeah. Experimentation.
Entity manifestation?
Yeah. Double intrigued, right? Celebrity and entity manifestation. Who are these guys?
Well, I'm a little worried for you.
Well, you should be, because we're sacrificing ourselves for science.
The last investigation, I was handling dry ice with my bare hands.
Just spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
I don't want to do that. That's
well,
bad.
that wasn't supposed to be done. That was a physical no.
Okay. Yeah, you got to be careful with that whole manifestation thing, though. I mean, so on a completely, serious note.
Right.
What do you do since you're doing these type of things? What do you do to protect yourself and to make sure that you're taken care of?
Well, and you bring up a good point. There's a passive protection with us, and of course we have Kelly, who's associated with the team, who does a protection spells or protection meditation to us. So she has that, but at the same time, again, we've been doing it a long while, and at this point we have a passive type scenario with us. So when we go into locations, I could tell you, I don't know the last time I've had a negative situation that was really, really bad. I think the last one was back in 2004. After that, it's really how you conduct. For example, when you go to a site and say there is something negative or there could be something negative in there, I always tell folks two things that you need to have to either push that negative energy away or to combat it. Not necessarily combat it, but to be in there with it. Is confidence in what you do, confidence in action, and conviction in what you say. And mind you, they can see they can call your BS because they see the ways, they understand how you're thinking. So if you're slacking in any of those two things, easier said than done, they can bite on that. So you're right, it's not completely safe with that, but with me, there's no fear. I mean, there's no fear factor. It's all about science. I'm more fascinated with it. So it's a challenge. And we do look at ones and zeros. So it's not metaphysical with me, though. Again, Kelly and a couple of the other folks on the team dabble in the metaphysical side of it all. My feelers are broken. I broke them long time ago. Long time ago. I touched the fence and hit the floor.
True. I can remember.
That's a true story, actually. It was terrible. But at that moment in time, I did put that passive scenario on me. So I'm not in danger, girl. And if I am, it's going to be recorded. And then we're going to the jackass of ghost hunters.
No.
Aaron, it'll be just like on Supernatural. Aaron will get drug up on the ceiling and burst onto
keep the GoPro on me.
And his last words I'll be telling his wife the next day was, "Are you getting this?"
Serenity now.
Please record this. Whoosh, and it exploded like on Freddy Krueger.
And I got even a phrase. And again, please, if you guys want to hear this, I'm just not talking through my anus here. I got a spirit that said, "Aaron's no pussy."
Well,
there you go.
Which was in response to "Let's scare him." So I'm like, bring it on. Scare me on, scared. I got you, boo.
So I mean, it does seem like you guys have a lot of fun on your investigations, and I've seen that you guys, try to be more technical, more scientific. So how is it having somebody like Kelly involved who's a bit more metaphysical? How did you react to bringing somebody in like that and working with somebody who's more dabbles in the metaphysical?
I know Kelly's watching this right now.
She is.
It was
in the chat.
Nerve-wracking as hell.
She's our chaos theory on investigations. Aaron's like, everything is ones and zeros.
Wow,
then Kelly comes in and says, "There's a dude right there staring at you."
I'm like, "Oh yeah, gear over there." I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm actually getting stuff."
Yeah.
So the nice thing with having Kelly on it, and mind you, I absolutely am on board with metaphysical side of it. It's not that. It's just so hard to, as we're trying to kind of prove it more to the world, it's hard to kind of go with that. As I've been dancing with Kelly, I'd say it's easier. Things are making sense. Scientifically, things are making sense, even with the metaphysical side of things. As my brain's putting it all together in the ones and zeros, everything's connected. If you think about it. And some things, when we go side by side with her, it's just some things that she represents and brings up, we can justify that, or we use some of our tools that I'm very confident of and get like results or get results.
You've been able to confirm what she's actually picking up on?
Yeah. And it's phenomenal. And of course I can rattle my brain all day long, but the reality is we're digging into radiation. At the end of the day, everything radiates. Waves, and waves. So even us as humans, we have heat. We radiate. So if we're radiating what we radiate, and let's say Kelly is an outlier among humans, so her radiation goes a little bit further, gets caught in the ever-connecting network, which I know is absolutely there, and now she's tied in. She's tied into her specialty, or what she focuses on, because that's what she's trained with. It makes perfect sense. I mean, there's outliers in every category, in every subject, every field. They're not normal. And not to say Kelly's not normal. Kelly, you're not normal. But yeah, it makes sense. I love you. I know.
Yeah, Vanessa down there's also a psychic medium remote viewer, so be careful.
They knew it was coming. They saw this.
Right. And Kelly's down there in the chat. She says, they make me work harder, which is good too. Getting the science proof to back it up is huge.
Well, but that's bringing up a very good point, and I would love to know your opinion on it, because I can shock the shit out of people all day long with what I know.
Can I if you give me a wire?
Like a Star Wars villain?
No, but I mean with what I know and what I know going into a place blind. I mean, I can knock their socks off all day long. For whatever
does that to us too.
Yeah, for whatever reason, why is it that even though you can tell somebody beyond a shadow of a doubt something that never happened, that you have no way of knowing ever, because it's not public knowledge, why if you can tell somebody that happened in a particular location and they won't believe it until you have science to back it up? Why is that?
Real quick here, because this is what me and Kelly kind of went back and forth. It's a curse word I'm going to use called coincidence. I'm sorry, pardon my French. Coincidence. Nothing's a coincidence. Everything's connected, right? Everything has its path. Everything, it's there. And I'm learning more and more of this through science, which is, again, fascinating and challenging at the same time. But I did a lot of that when Kelly, and even before Kelly, mind you, that was my way of disregarding these amazing facts that came up in front of me from someone. Coincidence. I start overthinking, overanalyzing, and then I realize, and I make my own trail of how it can be. So logically, I disprove something that was actually there, which is kind of an oxymoron.
What do you tell people that say there are no coincidences?
Well, I say there's no coincidences anymore, so I'm on board.
You're on board with that? Okay.
Yeah.
There isn't.
Not anymore. That was like I said, that was my curse word. Okay. I use it as a joke now. I laugh, because I mean, I've been there, so I understand. I understand. Look at that. But yeah, it's amazing. Do you have a?
You lost me at curse word because I was expecting something good.
Oh man,
I was expecting a real curse word. Come on, Vanessa, give us a curse word.
Word that we've been practicing.
Vanessa, give us a curse word. All right, there we go.
Wow.
Okay.
That's what I had my fingers crossed for earlier. We come out with coincidence.
Oh my God!
I'm your gal for that. And real quick, I'm sorry, Tom, I don't have my F-bomb mug with me. It's in the dishwasher, but I love it. I got out of the car at the hotel looking like shit covered in Cheeto dust, and he hands me an F-bomb mug.
Nice.
Shit covered in Cheeto dust.
I'm thinking
it was a long drive.
I'm going to take that one with me.
Yeah. Hey, they were low-fat Cheetos. I don't want to hear it.
There you go.
At least you got that going for you.
Yeah.
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke with low-fat, sugar-free Cheetos. There you go.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So, Candy Orton wants me to ask you guys about your personal app that you've made for your use only.
Ooh.
Does it look like we made an app?
we
do have an app, but we didn't make it.
You didn't make it.
We had a wonderful individual by name of Matthew Payne. You may have heard of him, as he has plenty of devices out there, that a lot of free devices that you can purchase out there in the ITC field. And yeah, he likes us. He likes our work, and we really enjoy him as well. So he doesn't work with too many investigators, which is super humbling, actually. I think he works with a lot of the TV folks. However, he
does work with Groff, yeah.
Yeah,
but He did make us the app before we signed up to work with.
This is true.
Elizabeth.
We did. He liked us before.
It's not like a secret club with a secret handshake or anything like that. Like, he was just like, "Oi, mates, here's an app." And then, like, a day later, Elizabeth's like, "We want you on the space."
We're like, we got an app.
Nice.
We can bring our own app. It's literally our audio from our YouTube videos chopped up in 200 milliseconds, just scanning each other. I always go at events. I'm like, "Yo, do you want to hear what it sounds like with me and Nick having sex?" You know, actually,
Nice.
I can play it real quick.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
It's gonna get sexy, guys.
So while you're bringing that up, Jen just gave us a $10 super chat, and she is laughing. LMAO. Awesome. And so, and B3 Airspace would like me to tell you that you guys are beyond awesome. Well, of course you are. You're Ken Boggle approved.
Right?
What's awesome about that is Ken Boggle. We've been Ken Boggle approved since like our second video.
No, before our first video. It's funny. He actually reached out to me in September before we launched the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It was like the second video when we officially got him on there. But he reached out to me in September and said, like, "Hey, I really like what you guys, you guys have good energy. I was wondering if, basically if you want to work together, if you're looking, if I could sponsor you." And that was like the last thing he said. I'm like, okay. And then he didn't reply for like a month. I'm like, oh, God, I guess he forgot. I like gave a. I gave another message. I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yeah, let me finish the thought." I was in a grocery store or something.
Nice. All right, so now we're going to hear you guys having sex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good sound clip there. That's exciting, huh?
Boom! I think I heard a spirit
like-
communicate.
All right.
All the characters on Futurama at doing it.
That was our motivation.
Yeah.
Was it really?
I don't know.
That's all kinds of wrong. All kinds
That's
of
all
wrong.
kinds of right to some folks.
And the cool thing was we used that in Edinburgh, and we actually had a female voice come through. So the cool thing is those are all male voices, us.
Well,
and
no,
then also
you
we
had
got
a female voice come through then.
But I heard something then as well. But it came over like 12 ticks in a row of a real soft, and the thing was my recorder wasn't recording. Fail. So.
No, but you had a female voice come through then.
I did softer voice come through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as consistent, but. Yeah, I stopped. You might have saw my face a little bit. I stopped and started listening because I was like, I'm thinking I'm hearing some words. I thought I might have heard application, actually.
But man,
yeah, it was app. It was a female voice. It sounded like
I heard
Siri.
a female voice in there, yeah.
Yeah.
But you said it was from a
Siri,
bunch of your
sound like
videos
Siri.
all chopped up, so I guess if you had a female in there on one of the investigations, then she would be included, right?
Potentially, but that's about.
maybe it's Kelly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Kelly.
That's a small percentage that would have
She's
been.
astral projecting her voice through the app right now.
She does astral project, guys, so
Yeah.
be careful.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm in the bathroom, Kelly.
So the real paranormal activity, the podcast is well, two questions. We'll throw them in there. What was the name of the app, and what exactly does it do?
The name of the app that we used?
Yeah, your personal one there.
It's a Ghost CRIER
It's just
app.
Ghost
It's
CRIER
not.
app? Okay.
Yeah, it's not really out there.
Yeah.
It was a new algorithm he's
Good
working
luck.
with.
You're not going to get it anywhere.
Well,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, look at this guy. It was a. We're working to see if we can make a different algorithm or kind of just work out some kinks. And I got some ideas with it that includes hardware, so it's going to be actually a lot more complicated than. Well, I think it should be complicated, but yeah. I do got to give a shout out to Keith Weldon. His new application. He's the inventor of the Spiritus. Are you guys familiar with the Spiritus?
Well, I saw it on your Mineral Springs video.
Yeah. I like it, and the reason I like it, sometimes it is really tough to hear something live with it, but the post is phenomenal, and it doesn't use real words. It uses phonemes, so it's its own controlled sound banks using the belch or other like phone, like part words, and it just scans those. So realistically, without mixing in pareidolia into the mix, you're
you said the trigger word.
Yeah. Without
it's
mixing
the P
that
word.
Yeah, the app is pretty fantastic. It gives real raw responses, personal to the questions and the environment consistently. I like it. Again, it's hard live, but the more there's a twofold. So the more you use an application, the more that you build that community around you, spiritual community, that rapport, and the more they get used to using that device with you, because they're kind of helping you out there.
You're talking about imprinting.
Yeah. Well, in a
the
sense,
I word. First 10 people to call the show now and say imprinting, get a free T-shirt.
So the more I'm getting used to it too, because I'm recognizing the sound. So if I hear like a now, because there's a now sound, I know it's not a ghost really excited and saying now. It's just a sound. But it's twofold. It's the entity is getting used to the machine, and it's me getting used to the machine. And you work thousands of hours editing, and that as I have, you start building a relationship a little bit and start understanding a lot more. He launched a new application recently. I've only used it one time thus far. I put it on our Patreon site. It was a pretty awesome session. It's very similar to the Spiritus, but it just has, I feel, some improvements. And I'll check it out. I mean, I'll take it through the
ringer.
Through the ringer. Thank you. I was like, what am I? Crusher, I want to say.
Searching for the word. Yeah, it's all right.
So I'll take it to the park.
Quick question for you though. Since you've been investigating for so long, okay, since '99, I believe is what
way back in the 1900s. Yeah.
Yep. Way back in the 1900s. This is an odd question. I've only posed it to a few people, but do you find that spirit communication is seasonal to a certain degree? That there are certain times out of the year that you have a better response?
And now,
and I'm not
it's a tough question.
Talking bale thinning. Sometimes during storm season,
right?
You can get,
and there probably is something to do with that electrical charge. Why not? I mean, that makes sense. The issue there is there's not enough documentation to kind of pull that. So it makes it tough to stand by and say, yes, we're in it so often. I mean, every day in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, you just go to our YouTube channel and look at the spirit communication videos, and those are shot over all of last year.
100% since we've been doing this accuracy.
You're seeing snow on the ground. You're seeing leaves starting to grow, and by the end of the videos of spirit communication, which would, I think we shot pretty much all the way up until what? You moved here, huh? No, even
we shot after that with this communication.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably data you could put together though, because you could. All those records are out there. You could look up, the location that you were at. You have documentation of the day that you were there, and look up the weather that particular day, the temperature, dew point. You could look up all that stuff.
Just since you're looking at it from a scientific viewpoint, that is just another aspect that you could put to it to see if there is any type of, does the barometric pressure affect it? What was going on in the atmosphere at the time? What was the Gulf Stream doing at the time? Was there any additional electrical charge that could enhance spirit communication?
Yeah, and then make it repeatable, ultimately. We have a new device, and I think it's a pretty much known device at this point. It's another EMF detector, but it's called EDI. It's a environmental detection instrument. It's pretty cool. It's $200. I mean, not the cheapest thing in the world, but it does its job. It does the pressure, it does temperature, it does EMF reads, it does vibration. Humidity. And it also collects all this data passively on a chip, so you can go back and see time frames. If you took you got a good EVP, well, let's look at that time frame, see what that pressure was.
Nice.
And we can start collecting this. Now, mind you, we haven't been as strong on doing that data, but that's the game plan with the EDI.
Because their spreadsheets are only made for Windows devices.
I got an Apple. All right, guys, I admit it. I got an Apple.
So do I.
It's delicious.
Exactly.
Hey, so since we're on this topic, Fair Molino is asking, have you two always been into science and experiments, and when did you start combining the paranormal?
Well, I've started off in 99 as a skeptic, so I never believed. Actually, I terrified to death. That's what got me into it, because I asked two groups, ministers, peers, teachers, parents, siblings, so forth. Do ghosts exist? Half of them say yes, half of them say no. I go, why? Both the same reason, just because. Wasn't good enough for me. So I wanted, in my own brain, I wanted to see if ghosts exist. Because again, I did have a fear. But honestly, I didn't know if it was just. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't have had any experience really that I can put towards before this. So I went out as grounded as I think you can. You do this. So I started investigating the paranormal with a Bible. I had a Bible. I didn't know what I was going to run into, and I don't want to be too cocky, one way or the other.
You go.
So let me ask you this.
I learned how to do an exorcism actually. At least verbatim.
Aaron, let me ask you this. So you started off. Okay, fine. We'll end right now. No.
Thanks for coming on, everybody. Good night.
See ya. Thank you, guys.
So you started off as a skeptic. You started off with a Bible in your hand. What made you get into this back, way back in the 1900s?
Well, people were dying of cholera.
Well, I was a watcher, they called me. Again, because of fear of death. And there was some adventure to it. When I started, honestly, when I started, I wanted to do all things paranormal, such as Bigfoot, UFOs, and ghosts. So I thought, I'll start with ghosts. Seems easiest, yes or no, and then I'll move on to Bigfoot and UFO. UFO, I thought, of course, has to be. So that's going to be pretty easy.
There's one.
Yeah, right?
Right,
Shooting star, got one. Bigfoot, I thought would just be fun running around the woods. No offense to cryptozoologists out there. But I'm still doing the ghost thing.
We haven't moved past that.
Yeah.
Beating a dead horse to death.
And again, it was really that fear of death that drove me to at least get a realistic answer. You know what I mean?
So you were looking to see and figure out what is going to happen to you after you die?
Yeah, if I needed to skydive more, if I needed to sit in my basement and play video games, I need to figure that out.
Yeah.
So
have you figured it out yet?
Yeah, I still do both, actually. Well, I haven't skydived.
He also started smoking, too.
Yeah, a lot, because I'm okay. I'm not scared anymore, guys.
God, you make me want to smoke.
Mike asked a really good question. Do you feel that you have gotten an answer?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
both of you, either one of you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're in it so heavy. I mean, of course, we get in the communication back and forth. We got some great response there. But I'm a believe it when you see it type person, and that happened for me in about the best way it could have. It was 2000 and I want to say 2002. I was with a psychic feeler. So psychic, what? And then I was with a lady who was going to be a minister who didn't believe in this hubbub, and we all went to a cemetery, random drop-in cemetery, an old historical island that had a big war of 1812 there. So I had a lot of energy that potentially could have been there. That was whoa. So we went to this walk-in cemetery, and I saw, the psychic feeler and the girl over by this tombstone. Then I realized the girl's by me. Mind you, I'm actively investigating at this point. I have my 35mm camera, disposable, and like a pad of paper and stuff. So, writing things down. That's cool. So I saw this, and I looked back, to my left, and I noticed that she's actually here with me. She's not over there with him. So things got interesting, and I started questioning as I walked up. I'm like looking at the moon. I'm like, what's this shadow? What's this huge, thing in front of? Like, what am I seeing here? So I'm walking up, and about 10 yards in front of me, there's a guy in a full beard hat, old fishing garb, looking directly down at my buddy, who's feeling him up. So hey, the psychic feeling stuff works. And I freeze from the waist down, throw up my arm like there's a snake in front of in the road, and yeah. And the psychic feeler goes, Aaron, he's right in front of me. I go, dude, he's right in front of you. And at that point, he moved up like a flip book animation, and ultimately his body looked like a glass mold of a human that had black smoke continually moving through it. And we all witnessed this full frontal apparition.
Nice.
Sexy.
Nice.
apparition. Yeah.
And the cooler thing for me is I'm still doing my checks, right? And I'm like, shit, monsters exist. What am I doing? You know, I'm just like, gosh, I mean, I can't.
I want to go home.
Yeah. So the minister lady actually never finishes that school. Go fig. She runs out of the cemetery screaming. He disappears the same time the apparition disappears. Me and the other guy said he's gone. Same time, in unison. And after the fact, not only did I research psychology, and I spoke with a couple people in the field because I wanted to see if I was going crazy. I was really checking on everything. And I started doing historical research of the location. And supposedly there was in the 1840s a son and his father who passed away. The first one's buried at this post cemetery. That supposedly haunt the cemetery. Cool. So went back. And went to the stone of where I saw the apparition. It says, "Here lies father and son." The first one's, all came together in every aspect.
Yeah.
I can't say that's going to happen for everyone, but for me, it needed to happen. I haven't seen anything after that or before that, but that moment.
Well, the thing is, though, you were open enough to witness it. I believe personally that this happens way more often than people give it credit. But you have to be open and willing, even if you're not fully aware of that state. Subconsciously, you needed to see something just to have that moment, and that's okay. But most people can do this for years and never fully see an apparition. Some see it right off the bat. It really does have to do with your subconscious open state. And you mentioned studying psychology, and that's not a bad thing to do. I think more people in this field need to do that.
Mass hallucination is what they would have called it, by the way.
Well, true, but they would have been wrong.
Oh,
and they would have been wrong because you did not have prior knowledge to this particular person, yet you saw him and were able to confirm it. But to go back to the psychology thing, I think it's very good to study that when you're doing this type of work, because not only does it help you in dealing with what we have to deal with in this field to begin with, but it helps spirit communication as well, because you're coming into contact with, mothers, grandfathers, kids, rapists, murderers, Nazi war criminals. You never know who is going to be stepping in front of you. And you've got to know how to deal with that particular situation without flipping the fuck out.
Right. Sociology plays a huge role, and that's another term we throw around often. Speak to the individual as they are, and with and I believe that you do have to, I would say, be open for that experience and be intelligent about it. You know what I mean? Like, understand that, hey, this is not magic. This is happening. Just understand that this is something here. And I do believe we're using the wrong tools. And I mean, it's all connected, and there's just so much. I'm kind of, and I'm going down my own rabbit hole on my end here.
Good.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's the rabbit hole. Gotta do it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Well, I'm saying outside of the rabbit hole. I'm actually putting together something called it's eco-terrestrial quantum physics. It's kind of a subcategory of quantum physics, which explains spiritual activity, ultimately the metaphysical side of it as well. Super complex, and I'm totally probably not the right person to even be doing this, but no one else is that I'm aware of.
Blow us up.
So I won't go too nerd on you.
Well, Kelly says down in the chat, Aaron and I have had that conversation many times. Part of what we hope to prove is that I'm not crazy.
This
You're not crazy, love.
Well, she's a little bit. Come on, don't give her complete
clinically. You're not clinically
fair
crazy.
Fair enough.
Okay. Because then I have to claim clinical craziness, and I'm not prepared to do that.
No, Vanessa, you're just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
With a capital F.
There you go.
Crazy.
Part of our blueprint when we go to new locations with Kelly is she leaves the building and I take the historical tour with the owner, and she comes back in and she starts just rattling off things that happened at the building, and she's always right.
Yeah, it lines up exactly with what you just heard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even drive to locations. They don't ever tell me where I'm going.
Oh,
I used to keep my my team in the 2000s pretty
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I would have
in the 2000s.
Right. Well, they were always they weren't the same each time. I'd always pick up new people for each group. But yeah, I'd always keep them blind. I want to tell them where they're going, anything like that. And
there used to be that show out there called Ghost Bait where they had this like portly looking guy that was gelatinous like Rush Limbaugh, and they blindfolded him and stuck him in a van, and then they'd like take him inside of like a house.
Fear Factor.
And just leave him in the
Fear
middle
Factor.
of the
There you
basement.
go.
Then call him
I've never even heard that show.
They'd be like, all right, take your blindfold off. And he'd be like, I'm somewhere. And everybody sitting at home would be like, no shit.
It's old. There's been death here.
It's a dusty basement. It was a dusty basement last week. Ghost Bait. You know, and it was kind of cool. Like the whole premise behind it, like he'd investigate this place and get to the bottom of things, but he had no idea where he was at or what he was doing or where, you know, the building or the history or anything, but he'd just take off investigating in the dark and start getting EVP and readings on the millimeters and stuff. I mean, I never found out what happened to the show, but it was a cool concept.
Rest in peace.
I'm gonna look it up because I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
Ghost Bait. Now they have, yeah. That's gonna make a joke, but I'll go faster.
Yeah, I don't quite recall that one.
Yeah,
I don't either.
It was an internet show, much like ours.
Oh, it was an internet show.
Oh,
okay.
Not as popular.
Yeah.
You were thinking Ghost Jailbait, weren't you?
I was like, what was that? What's that one guy? You take a seat, have a cookie, whatever.
Oh yeah, Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen, yeah, he should have been on there.
Yeah.
What's in the bag? Funyuns and condoms.
So what are you gonna do with this poltergeist? I swear it was just, you know, a noisy ghost. What do you expect?
Gonna cause an ectogasm.
Oh,
there we go. Ghosty.
Bada bing.
Hey, Vanessa, this happened a while ago, but Bree Jones saw something like a fog flash over your screen.
I know.
Your friend there with you tonight? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it vape?
Vape for life.
No, I have an attachment.
Oh, right.
A pretty bad one.
Last year when we do videos every week of us out communicating with the SB7 or the Spiritist, and I'd go home and have to analyze that, I always felt like the more and more that I did that, because every Friday we were out doing this, then all weekend and all the next week we were analyzing audio, then we'd slap the video up on Friday on YouTube, then go outside and make another communication video. And it seemed like, you know, as long as we kept doing that, like the thinner my veil got, and I'd be like sitting at home with headphones on analyzing audio, and all of a sudden I'd look up and there's a mirror in front, or another computer behind my laptop that I work off of, and I'd look up in the screen and somebody be standing behind me. Jesus Christ! I mean,
well,
now with as much as you guys are out and doing things, have you been getting a lot of attachments?
My fillers are broken. I'm sure they're all around me. I don't know.
Feelers are broken.
I sleep well.
Coyote Chris Sutton and I were
Coyote
like this.
Chris, there you go.
And
he's a good man.
He's worked with me on dealing with that. Kelly's worked with me very closely on dealing with that, and it's calmed down mainly because we're not going out every Friday shooting stuff for YouTube anymore.
Sorry.
Well, but sometimes it's not a bad thing. I mean, now my particular attachment is lifetimes old. It's specific to me. It's not from an investigation.
A reincarnation over and over.
It's my problem to deal with, you know. And people have actually seen him behind me and described him, not knowing anything about him. So, I mean, that's specific to me. But attachments can actually help you in investigations. And I found this out in a very bizarre way. You made me think of it when you said laptop. I'm working on the Holly Ann Hughes case, the Cropsey case in Staten Island. And we've been working on this for about a year and a half. And I was going through my footage, getting everything ready to go to our person who is putting all of the stuff together for the documentary. And I was trying to click out of a particular picture that was taken at the location where we believe her remains were left.
Yeah.
There's only one picture. It took me 103 times, I think, of clicking the X to get it to go away. And there was only one picture up. It wasn't like I had pulled it up 103 times.
Yeah.
It was a single picture, and I had to keep clicking it, and it would keep popping up of the location where we believe she is. And that was, I believe, her way after I'd gotten home of telling me, you're right. This is where I am. You know, have you ever had a situation like that happen where you feel like they've kind of inched you along and kind of helped you?
I mean, I feel like it's ongoing. Like I said, earlier when I said like an assembly line, you know, behind me, that was actually a true statement. You know, I do feel I do have a lot of attachments, but I don't think that they're angry. If they're angry, you know, they don't bother me enough. But I think I have enough positive energy around me where that doesn't even, you know, manifest. I did have a moment where I was having a moment, you know, personally. Just a lot of weight was on me.
Was it a blonde moment?
It wasn't a blonde moment. But I was in my car. And the radio, I drive with the radio off or really loud, mostly off, completely off. My thinker's going, I like to think. So I was having my moment. I was breathing. I was just
thank God
in my car. Yeah, right. Breathing's good.
It's a good thing.
I learned in life, actually.
Yeah.
So about 5 minutes, you know, driving towards work. Next thing you know, the radio pops on. And the cool thing was my, you know, of course, investigator head pops on right away. Like, why did the radio pop on? What's the lyrics right now? And the lyrics were almost in sync to what I was kind of feeling. It said, you will rise from these ashes, and then just breathe for like 15 minutes or 15 seconds or something. It was repeating it. And I'm like, man, pretty close to home there. So it was cool. It was cool.
That's pretty cool.
Those synchronicity moments can bring more clarity than a year of trying to figure something out and going through all the motions. Just that single moment of synchronicity. It's amazing, and I think we bypass those.
And I wanted to right away with my skeptical kind of overthinking. Then I just stopped and I go, you know what? I feel better now. I feel good. I'm just going to take it for what it was. The radio wasn't on. You know, at the end of the day, the radio wasn't on, and then it popped on. It popped on its lowest volume, so it's like it just turned
back
on.
Off. Not now. I'm breathing.
Yeah, right. Metallica came on. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that desire. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Hey, we have we're getting down toward the end, if you can believe that. It's gone by quick. Donna Gorton asks, she's our Cheshire Cat in the house tonight, do you have any gifts that you use that help on an investigation?
Besides our equipment that makes noise, blinks, and lights up.
That's my gift.
No, I mean, we've had
that's what Kelly's for?
Yeah, that's what Kelly's for. But other than that, we've just, you know, personal experiences have ramped up with also, you know, continuously investigating on the week, you know, every week.
Well,
and it seems like.
Let me ask you this: having been involved for so long, and you know, having somebody like Kelly on the team, do you feel maybe that you are starting to, you know, get in touch a little bit more with the metaphysical side yourself?
I really just blame it on doing it so much. You know, all last summer.
Blame it on the rain.
Most of last year, we were investigating every week, and I think, you know, Kelly always says everybody has this gift. They just got to learn how to unlock it. And
believe it.
We're really, I don't feel that Aaron and I are learning how to unlock it. I just feel that, you know, we're getting better at hearing stuff live with the SB7 and the Spiritus app, and maybe that's our gift, that we're learning to listen better, but we can't see and feel and talk like Kelly can. I mean, just last Wednesday when we were doing our investigation for the haunted .space on Vidi.live.
Who's our producers?
Oh, Elizabeth Saint and Nick Groff.
Wow.
But when we were doing that investigation, she's like, you know, there's an asshole down here, and I want you to go talk to him. I'm like, all right, show me where it's at, you know. And she led me down the hall, and she's like, go in there. And I go in this room, and there's just me in the room with the SB7 and trying to talk to somebody, and she's, you know, yelling off into the darkness, get in there and talk to him. So obviously she can see somebody that, you know, the rest of us can't. But I have, you know, been starting to see more shadows and stuff compared to, you know, this time last year.
Well, as you delve further into it, you don't have to make a conscious choice to unwrap your package, your box. You know,
All right.
Oh man,
Hot top.
Woo, she walked right into it.
His packages open often.
Let me unwrap this then.
And to kind of go to my package,
Vanessa, he's
real
not
quick.
allowed to do that on YouTube.
Well, we have blur boxes.
The video would get banned. So, yeah.
Here, I'll hold this light up so you can't see it. All right, look, he's got it out.
It's an orb. So
is that a Schwartz?
You know,
he took the sheath off.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
You know,
the Schwartz.
back in the early 2000s, I actually was diving into it after my experience with the psychic feeler, in a sense. But my problem was
Did the psychic feeler unwrap his package?
He could have unwrapped his package.
He dove right into it.
Yeah. Oh, God. So I unfortunately with me, I was training myself with no real experience or education along the line, so I had no mentor. And I did walk too close to the sun, and that's kind of when I put on my passive block. I'm fine with that now. I'm actively not trying to get that experience again because I felt it. I know what that energy feels like, and it's uncomfortable. And I know you can get used to it. And I was getting used to it. And it was nice because it would take me into areas where I can use my devices and get good responses. But again, I'm so proficient with the devices nowadays that I don't really require. And we got Kelly and the rest of the team. So I get into some pretty hairy spots. I'd rather just stay oblivious. You're in the demon house.
Oh my goodness.
One was Zach? No, sorry.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we do have to wrap it up. We are past our hour. So, yeah, no, it's too bad. We're having a good time, and everybody in the chat was loving you. They're like, "Hey, we got bring them back. We're having a great time, laughing." They're
cool.
See all the smileys and everything. So yeah.
Yes. We were getting a lot of frownies the other night.
Yeah, it was by one person I found out.
Oh,
there's only a total of like 2. So one was a jerk and just hitting it. The internet. Am I right, Vanessa?
Probably Coyote Chris. Haha, screw these guys.
So, all right. So, what do you guys have coming up, and where can everybody find you?
We do have an event coming up here soon. On the oh gosh, Kelly's gonna smack me.
I think it's July 17th. 16th.
Kelly, go ahead and put it in the chat. Kelly, put it in the chat.
GhostCrier.com.
Kelly
has all our events. I am so sorry, Kelly. I should have brought this up.
Help us, Kelly.
We're doing stuff. We are doing group investigations.
July 14th.
Huh? Yeah, there you go. July 14th.
Yeah, I was going
to say Renwick Mansion. Yep.
Yeah, Renwick Mansion.
Then at the end of June, we're at our school in Maxwell, Iowa.
Yeah, we'll be with a bunch of...
And at the end of July, we're at the Cedar Rapids Psychic and Paranormal Convention in Cedar Rapids, Iowa with Daniel Klass and Coyote Chris Sutton.
What? Get a picture with us.
And that whole event is put together by Ghost Crier's very own Kelly McCarville.
Stop it. What? She's in charge of
She's a wizard, Harry.
Gosh, we got top talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like they're going to be great events. So, so go check them out, and then they can also check you out on the Haunted.space, too. So.
Yeah.
And nude calendar coming out for next year, so enjoy that.
Yeah. Where they do unwrap their package.
I was about to say, is it called Unwrap Your Package?
A lot of Photoshop goes on, though, guys. Don't worry about it. That's fake. What do you mean? It's an orb.
All right, let's get to some quick shout-outs here, and then we'll get to the... we'll let these guys go and get to the next show. So, Super Chat Superstars, Tom McNicholas, Emily Cleary, and Jen, thank you guys so much for all of that. So, for shout-outs, Donald Gorton, thank you for doing your Cheshire Cat chat this evening since our chat shenanigator is working. There's BD Flint with a $10 Super Chat. Thanks so much for a fun show. Thank you, BD Flint, one of our Deep Down the Rabbit Hole Patreon patrons, which are... I got the whole list. Here we go. Tom McNicholas, Grizz, B3 Aerospace, Zippy Davis, BD Flint, Pamela Queen, and Don Francisco. Thank you guys so much for being Deep Down the Rabbit Hole Patreon patrons. And then we have, Kelly McCarville is in the house handling the Ghost Crier side. Thank you very much, Kelly, for handling all that. And we have Diane Hilbert, Bree Jones, Real Paranormal Activity, the podcast, if I could speak. And you guys have some good questions tonight. Really do appreciate it. Sean Gilmore's in the house. Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Sean.
Hey, Fungi.
Yes.
We love fungi. Well, I love saying the name. That's just my thing. Spooky Dawn, thank you very much. Shay Carroll representing Beyond the Light Network, as is Candy Orton. So we do simulcast on Beyond the Light Network over Spreaker, and we're also on Periscope as well. Main gig is YouTube, of course. Tim Schoen, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Amanda Tyrell, thanks for joining us tonight. Robert White from Australia, thank you.
Good day, mate.
Trip on the bobby.
Betty and Wayne Lange, thank you very much. Saw you guys at the Paracon this past weekend. Fran Molino, glad you could make it out again. I know your schedule was a little hectic there for a while. Sean Oldsmith, also from Australia. I love how we get a couple Aussies in here.
Hey.
Yep.
Good on you, mate.
Huge in Australia.
Yeah.
M. Labuda 61, thanks for joining us as usual. Did I see Andrew Cox in here earlier? I thought he was. Murtaza Arif in the UK, thank you very much. Joe Chandler, Tracy Christian, thank you both for joining us this evening.
Wow.
Robin Gaffner, thank you as well. Lisa. Katie Palmer, thank you as well. A lot of people in the chat tonight. Really do appreciate it. So let's see who else we have in here. And if I miss you, do apologize. We do try to hit everybody, but you know, sometimes we miss people because there's a lot of people in there. Bethany Warner, thank you very much. The Haglin is in the house. And I'm going to scroll back down here. Oh, there's Grizz. Hey, Grizz, how's it going? All right. All the way back down we go. All right, and there's Emily, and yeah. Okay, very cool. Well, we're going to wrap up this show. We have Inside the Upside Down next, which we're going to talk about real paranormal unity and recap our Paracon weekend. So it was very, very cool. We'll have to have you guys out the next time we do one of these. So,
you should have brought up paranormal unity. We got a whole speech on unity.
This is true.
There we go. Well, we're
be in the chat the next show.
Yeah, be in the chat the next show.
I got to drive home.
I got a baby.
I drive and watch YouTube all the time.
Actually, I do got to get down to my 4-month-old.
Oh, bless you.
Adorable.
Well, I guess we can excuse that. You know.
Thank you.
And there's April M. Wimagons, and there's Tom McNicholas as well, of course. So, yeah, okay. All right, guys, thank you for a great show. Ghost Crier, really do appreciate it. And, yeah, we'll definitely have you back on one of these days because I know our listeners are like, bring them back on. So, all right. Until next time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy trails.
You too.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata and all that great stuff.
You mean no